is it in the world of sales? Sometimes you have to deal with crazy. I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California. A perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about some people got some crazy emotions. And so it doesn't matter what product you sell. It doesn't matter what widget, gizmo, whatever whiz-bang thing that you have to offer. At some point, you're going to have to deal with some eccentric people, and at some point, you're just going to have to flat out deal with crazy people. And so I grew up doing in-home sales. That's what I started doing in early 2000s. I did in-home sales. I sold insurance. I was horrible at it. I still had to deal with crazy. I sold heating and air. It was crazy. I mean, I would go to people's houses, and I would sit down with them at the kitchen table, belly to belly, and we'd have conversations. And sometimes, like, the people were just out there. I remember one time, I went to a call at 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning, and the lady is blasted. She's an attractive woman. She's throwing the goods towards me, and I'm like, this isn't happening. No, thank you, okay? So, like, it doesn't matter. You could sell cars, you could sell windows, you could sell in-home services, you could sell professional services, and sometimes you meet with people and you're like, oh my goodness, you are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This is insane. Like, I'm not doing business with you, and that's cool, right? So, as you should know, if you have to deal with desperate people and needy people, there is a challenge to that. Like they take everything word for word. Like, especially if money's a situation and they're struggling with money, sometimes people are crazy about that. I have sat down across the table sometimes with people and I'm like, I'm not doing business with this person because it's not going to end well. It's just not. And sometimes people, like, they meet you and they seem like they're a good person and they're a real person and you're going back and forth and, like, all of a sudden they start saying stuff once you hit rapport and you're like, put that on the chalkboard, whiteboard, like you're too young if you don't know what a chalkboard is. Put that on the whiteboard, right? And then they say something else and you're like, oops, there's 2 hits against them, there's 3 hits against them. Sometimes people will give you clues, and it comes to find out just from having a conversation with them, they are not the right person for you. So, like, as a salesperson, you really do need to learn how to bow out gracefully and walk away from a call. And sometimes it's your call to be like, you're going to call an audible, and the sales process will be like, we're not doing business. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And sometimes you got to know that when people have a ton of money, sometimes a ton of money makes people weird. Sometimes a ton of money makes people strange. I've been in some houses that you would be like, oh my goodness. And, like, people have crazy money, but they do weird things. Like, they have no problem writing the check, here you go, but they do weird stuff. And so you just got to be prepared for it in sales. Like, not all the time, but here's the other thing. Sometimes it's like a carousel. It's like you go, close, 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 credit reject, credit reject. No sell, no sell, no sell, crazy person, crazy person, crazy person. And when you are struggling in sales and when sales aren't happening, hitting the crazy person button and getting that crazy person, sometimes you take it personally. And sometimes you're like, why is this happening to me? You know, that's the day you should go buy a lottery ticket and just hand it to somebody because you're not really ever going to win. Just give it to somebody, make their day. Find somebody who's homeless, give them a couple of bucks. Sometimes you just deal with crazy, get past it. And it's going to feel like there's a lot of craziness going on, especially if you're struggling in sales. Like, crazy situation at the office, crazy situation from the buyers. You just got to get through it. It's one of the mental struggles that you're going to face. Now, you got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping by. Aloha.